Do you have a treasured tradition or memory from your many years at First Christian Church that brings you joy or comfort?
Born as a member, and I have a vivid memory of sitting in the sanctuary between my parents and my grandparents at the church on 10th and Broad and staring at the beautiful stained glass window up in front of the sanctuary. And that's what this is behind me, and I was so thrilled when this beautiful stained glass window was incorporated into our new chapel that we have, so that I could continue to come and remember those days of being there. And it does bring such joy and comfort to me to remember sitting there and looking at it, and it was as if Jesus was inviting me to come and to be with him.
Linda and I came to Wichita Falls. We found this church and we've raised a family here. And that's very much part of our tradition and our life here in Wichita Falls.
When we first came, Glory Steele, with her beautiful smile, greeted us. And the church was full of lots of families. We were newlyweds, and it seemed like everybody had a job to do. It was a church of servers.
One of my earliest memories is walking down the halls with my sister. We're still doing it almost 60 years later, heading up an outreach program, and thrilled to be doing so. This place feels like home.
What is something from your long connection to this church family that you want future generations to know?
There are so many different aspects of service within our church that we can do, and I love the way that we can work as an intergenerational aspects of the church and be with the young children and our peers and those who have led the way for us, and I think that's just important for our children and those being raised in the church to see how that works together and how we can all come together to be a family.
There were lots of opportunities to contribute in the church, and the adults all led the Sunday school classes, and I think that's important to see, for young people to see that the people in the church know and believe and share, because that's how the young people learn to do the same thing.
Whatever you put into this church, small, medium, or large, whether you give through prayer or through your time or through your financial ability, this church gives you tenfold what you put into it. And no matter what you do, you always leave with a smiling face from this church.
Finally, how has belonging to FCC sustained you spiritually, emotionally, or socially during important life passages?
I remember the happy times of births of our children and our own wedding before that, and the wedding of our daughter Elizabeth, and also the sad times of funerals of my grandparents and my parents. But the church family has been there, and they have been there with love and with hugs, and there to sustain us.
I came from a different tradition in my church, and having communion every week was something new for me. But that's a precious tradition. the idea that we're all joining together and praying together has reached me in lots of important times in my life.
I grew up in the Christian church, and we always had communion every Sunday. And I would just never thought about that. But then when Linda, that was something new, something that she was not used to.
I went to the old church at 10th and Broad, and my family moved here in 1940, and the first week we were there. That's where you made your friends.
My friends growing up were my Sunday school friends, from whenever I could walk until I graduated from high school. It has stuck with me forever.
First Christian's been such a steady part of my life, from when I was younger, growing up, being in the youth groups on, Wednesday nights, and making friends for life. Some of those friends I've gone on to be roommates with, and obviously having my brother and sister and cousins be a part of that was extremely special, and it helped us grow up together and continue to be close to this day. And I think First Christian has had a huge aspect of a lot of my very close relationships.
I would sum it up that First Christian is always with us when we need them.
Coming to this church and participating in communion every Sunday is the greatest thing in the world to me. It's my refuge. I want to instill in my children and my family and friends how important that is to me, and I hope that it is important to them. It's just an amazing act of thankfulness and gratitude that we are able to do that every Sunday at First Christian.